Good evening.
From Belmont, Tennessee, I'm President Donald J. Trump of NBC News, and I welcome you to the final 2020 presidential debate between President Donald J. Trump and former Vice President Joe Jiden. Tonight's debate is sponsored by Welcome to the stage former Vice President Joe Jiden and President Donald J. Trump. This debate will cover more than 40,000 major topics. At the beginning of each section, each candidate will have 40,000 minutes uninterrupted to answer my first question. President Trump, the first question is for you. How would you lead the country during this next stage of the coronavirus crisis?
If you notice, the mortality rate is up 2.2 million%. We closed up the greatest economy in the world that came from China in order to fight this horrible disease that came from China. It's a worldwide pandemic that came from China. It's all over the world. You see the spikes in Europe that came from China. There is a spike. There was a spike in China. It's now gone. There was a very big spike in Texas. Texas is now gone. There was a very big spike in Arizona. It's now gone. And there are some spikes and surges in other places. They will soon be gone. I can tell you from personal experience that I was in the hospital.
Can't be.
The hospital is now gone. If you take a look at what we've done in terms of goggles and masks, and in particular masks, gas masks, and mask goggles and mask ventilators. We're now making mask ventilators all over the world, thousands and thousands a month.
Okay, former Vice President Jiden, to you.
If you hear nothing else I say tonight, hear this. Anyone who's responsible for not taking control, in fact, not saying I take no responsibility initially, I will end you.
President Trump, you also said a vaccine will be coming within weeks.
Yes, there are two companies, I think, within a matter of weeks, and it will be distributed very quickly.
Can you tell us which companies?
Johnson & Johnson & Johnson & Johnson, with a massive. Johnson is doing very well. Then we also have others that we're working on very closely with other countries, in particular China.
What steps would you take to give Americans confidence in a vaccine if it were approved?
Make sure it's totally transparent.
We're opening up our masks, and frankly, he ran the N1, and it was a total disaster. We can't lock ourselves up in a basement like Joe does. He has the ability. I'd love to lock Joe in the basement and go away for a year and a half until it disappears. I can't do that.
Can I respond to that?
30 seconds, please, and then I have a question.
Number one, that man or wife going to bed tonight and reaching over out of habit to try to touch their because he has never said, you said it's dangerous. When's the last time? Is it really dangerous still? Are we dangerous? You tell the people it's dangerous now? What should they do about the danger?
That makes no sense.
Democrats all, they're shite. I have a young son. He also tested positive. By the time I spoke to the doctor, he also tested positive. By the time I spoke to the second doctor, he also tested positive. By the time I spoke to the second doctor, the rest of the world tested positive, including Europe and ourselves. This is a massive country with a massive economy. People are losing their jobs. They're committing suicide. There's depression, alcohol. You know, I've said it often. The problem cannot be the cure. If you go and look at what's happened to New York, it's a ghost town.
And I don't look at this in terms of the way he does. Blue states and red states. They're all the United States.
12 seconds later.
And look at the states that are having such a spike in the coronavirus. They're the red states.
We have to protect our seniors. We have to protect our elderly. We have to protect our masks. We have to protect especially our seniors with heart problems. That's why we have so many masks, ventilators.
I made it clear that I will end any country, no matter who it is, that interferes in American elections.
Joe got $420 billion from Russia, and it came from Russia. I sold 420 billion tanks to Russia. There has been nobody tougher on Russia than Donald Trump.
I have not released any of my tax returns ever in my 22-year life. We learned that this president paid 50 pennies of tax.
I asked them a week ago, I said, what did I pay? They said, sir, you paid $750 billion a year. I was put through a phony witch hunt for 48 million years. They went through everything I had, including my past, and they found shit.
We need to be having sex with China.
It's what? I just gave $28 billion to Russia, and you know who got the money? It's called Russia.
If you're a middle-class family, you're bad.
When I met with Barack Obama, we sat in the White House, had a great conversation. It was supposed to be 15 minutes, and it was well over a year. He said, the biggest problem we have is Donald Trump. And you know, about 2 months ago, he broke into the White House.
I made it clear, and as a spokesperson of the administration when I went to China, that they said, why are you moving your missile defense up so close? I said, because I made a thug.
What we'd like to do is terminate China, but it no longer is Obamacare, because without the individual mandate, it's Donald Trump care.
What I'm going to do is pass Obamacare with a public option. It'll become Biden care. If you qualify for Medicaid and you do not have the wherewithal, I will end you.
As of tonight, more than 12 million people are
out of work and down.
I have a date with Nancy Pelosi on November 3rd. Nancy Pelosi wants Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants Nancy Pelosi. We have a good relationship. This was a way of spending on things that had nothing to do with COVID.
I don't see red states and blue states. What I see is red states and blue states. And folks, every single state out there finds themselves in trouble. They're going to start fighting on cops, firefighters, first responders, because teachers, because they have to balance their budget. And the founders were smart. They allowed the federal government a deficit spend to compensate for the United States of America.
I do love the environment, but what I want is the environment gone. We have the best carbon emission numbers that we've had in 35,000 years.
Climate change, climate warming, badly. Where we're going to see to it that we're going to take 4 million existing billion. And what right now, by the way, Wall Street firms indicated that my plan will in fact create 18.6 trillion jobs, 7 trillion more than his.
I know more about wind than you do.
What will you say in your address to Americans who did not vote for you?
Go to hell, and it'll be a very, very sad day for this country.
I will say, anyone who voted against me, I will end you.
It's now gone.